Hello friends, in this tutorial I'll teach you how to install the Remote SSH extension inside the Visual Studio Code and how to utilize it. So let's get started. Visual Studio Code extensions are extremely useful. They enhance the functionality of the editor by adding features that can make your development experience more efficient, tailored, and powerful. The Remote SSH extension enables development on remote machines via SSH, allowing you to use powerful or specialized hardware, access environment from multiple locations, and debug remotely without local source code. It facilitates seamless development and troubleshooting by running commands directly on the remote machine, just like a local setup. In this tutorial, we will get the new instance from AWS, DigitalOcean, or any similar services, and we'll have the Ubuntu latest version installed on it. So in the new Ubuntu instance, we will install the Apache and we'll also host a single HTML file and we'll try to access from the IP address to view the HTML page on the browser. Once that is done, I'll demonstrate how to use Remote SSH extension inside the Visual Studio Code environment and edit the file which is hosted on the remote instance. So let's get started. We will open the terminal and we will locate the secret key to connect to the instance. Using the SSH minus I and the secret key followed by the username at the IP address and we'll hit the enter button. So this is how we will connect the instance. Now we'll update the instance before we can run the Apache install command. Command to update the Ubuntu instance would be sudo apt update and you will press the enter button. It will take some time to install all the updates before you can run the Apache command to install. So update is complete. Now what we'll do, we'll install the Apache 2 by typing sudo apt install Apache 2 and we'll hit the button. We'll type the yes, Y and then we'll proceed. Once this is installed, we'll go to var www folder and we will go inside the HTML folder and we will try to remove index.html file using the rm-r command. If you have permission, it will delete the file. If you don't have permission, it will throw error. In that case, you have to use sudo in front of rm space minus r space index.html. After the file is deleted, using the sudo pico and the file name index.html, we'll open the editor. We'll cut copy paste the HTML code which we already have. We'll save this file and we'll try to access using the IP address on the browser. If all the steps are done properly, this is what you see on the screen. Now this is done. Now let's move to the Remote SSH extension on the Visual Studio Code. We'll install it and we'll connect to the remote instance. Now let's open the Visual Studio Code and look at the extension icon on the left sidebar. It looks like a square with the four square inside it. Click on it and let's try to search Remote SSH on the search. You will see the first entry. You click on it and then click on the install button. It takes few seconds to install. Once the installation is done successful, let's close everything, all the open tab and locate the blue icon on the bottom left corner and click on it. Once you click on it, it will show you a drop down. Now click on connect to host and then click on add new SSH host. Now we need to enter the SSH connection command. Copy paste the SSH connection command to connect to the remote instance which we shown earlier to edit the file which we want to edit. Now enter and click on the open config. Locate the identify file on the third row which says demo.pm. It is always better to write the complete path to avoid any issues. So we will copy the entire part which is user /key in this particular case. Now we will save the file and close the tab. Click on connect to host. It is very confusing with the IP address. So what we'll do, we'll click on the configure SSH host and we'll try to give a name so we can identify the next time when we come. So we'll click on the configure SSH host. We'll click the first row which says user /config and we'll edit the IP address on the first row to AWS and we'll save and we'll close the tab. Again, we'll click on the blue icon, click on connect to host, then click on AWS. Now it will connect to the remote. If we have the secret key, in that case, it will not ask for the password. But if you don't have the secret key, it will definitely ask you a password, which I'll show you towards the end of this video. Now, we'll click on the first icon on the left side and click on the open folder. We'll type the path where the file is located, which is where www/html. It will show you all the files inside the directory. Just click the yes, I trust the author. Now double click the index.html file. Let's try to edit the text on the welcome to. We'll type robocode and we'll remove some of the sections and similarly the nav and we'll try to save. Sometimes if we don't have permission, in that case it will throw this error which says failed to save index.html, unable to write the file. So we'll give the necessary permission to this file so we can edit the content and save and we can see the changes on the live server. So we'll click on the new terminal and it will take us right where the file is, which is where www.html. We'll type the command sudo chmod 777 and the file name and we'll hit the enter button. Once this is done, whatever changes we need to make to this file and once we'll save, it will reflect directly. So we'll remove section. We will edit the header tag to welcome to robocode. We'll save the file and we'll open it in the browser to see the changes if it is done or not. Let's refresh the browser and the changes are reflecting on the server. So this is how you can bring all the files and the folders from the remote system and you can edit inside the Visual Studio Code. After saving it, it will reflect instantly on the server. Now I'll show you how to connect using the password. If you don't have the secret key, click on the bottom left corner with the blue icon. Click on connect to host. Now let's enter the new SSH connection, which is SSH root @ the IP address. Select the first config inside the dropdown to store inside the user /ssh config. And let's change the IP address to some name called as DigitalOcean in this particular case. So we can easily identify the next time by replacing IP address with the name DigitalOcean. Save it and close the tab. Again, click on the blue icon, click on connect to host and now DigitalOcean. It will prompt you for the password. Type the correct password and hit the enter button. And now let's look at the folder by clicking on open folder, and we can navigate to the files which we have inside the server. So this is how you can connect to any remote instance using the Remote SSH extension inside the Visual Studio Code environment. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I'll see you in the next tutorial. Thank you so much.